Today I took my phone out and I realized that I was clogged. And I realized this after just starting to write on my apps, just jotting down how I felt, what was on my mind, how I felt about everything in my day. And frankly, I had a lot to say. After jotting down all of these thoughts, I felt relieved. That's when it dawned on me I had not journaled in like 10 days. I did not even realize because over these past couple of weeks, and not just 10 days, but over these past couple of weeks, I have been optimizing my evenings to get the most done. And while I've achieved most of those goals, I don't feel better for it. And today I'm going to talk about self care. Not the oiled up version that leaves your sheet dirty, but the version that leaves your mind free. We're going to talk about the self-care, the wind down version. In today's day and age where everything is just being sold on us to take care of yourself, take care of yourself, but it's mostly focused on getting your hair done, getting your nails done, having glowing skin, looking your utmost best, we're neglecting the part where we also take it inward. And the inward is just as important as the outward because you only travel with you. And even if you look like the most beautiful princess on earth, when you open your mouth or don't, it reveals a lot about you. So both of these things are important, right? The wind down helps you to reconnect with yourself. It helps you to understand you. It helps you to understand your thought process and how you feel about things and why you feel that way. Right? In today's society where nobody wants to sit down and have dinner without their phone. Nobody wants to have a extended conversation without bringing media in it. And quite frankly, nobody just wants to sit around on the veranda and watch cars like my grandfather always did. And I always wondered why are these old people just sitting down and watching cars? But it was a way for them to just connect with themselves. And as my older folks always say, young bud don't know storm. As you grow older, you start to understand why a lot of things are the way they are and why a lot of sayings mean what they mean. And it helps you to see that there is so much more that meet the eyes. And even though we are doing this life for the first time, it's not something that you figure out at once. It's something that you figure out intermittently, right? In this season, I'm understanding, and I've learned this lesson many times in different variations. Like, you don't become productive by chasing productivity. Like, you also have to take care of yourself in that process because, like I said, even though I've achieved many of the things that I set out to on this couple of weeks, I have felt the most unproductive because I have literally neglected my care routine. My mind has been so fogged and so clogged because I couldn't take 30 minutes out of my evening to just get my journaling in. And it's not because I didn't want to, it's because I wanted to optimize for other things that were getting me greater returns, but at the expense of me not being able to think clearly. Is the return really that great? And when you turn on your phone, you can literally find somebody to agree and disagree with every point that you make, right? And it's a blessing and a curse because then we don't think for ourselves. And that is what happens in the me time, in the wind down time, in the self-care time. It helps you to become familiarized with your own thoughts again. It helps you to feel how you feel and be okay with not having anybody support that feeling, right? And honestly, unpopular opinion, but nobody's living your life for you. Nobody has your circumstances for you. And there is so much to tell you what's the right move and what's the move that's going to get you ahead. But as you've seen, and if you can recall, there's always a disclaimer that says I cannot promise you results. So either way, the advice is just with a grain of salt. And so I just really want you to understand that in the midst of you trying to get to that level, the version of you that you take there also matters. And that's the reason why I didn't make this a finance channel or a strictly business channel. I made it an invest in you channel, because when you're investing in you, you're developing your money. Of course, you're developing your mind, you're developing your resources. Maybe you're starting a business, but you're not just a business owner. You are all of the elements that make up a person, and that makes up the person holistically to be able to handle the things that you desire in the way that helps you to maintain and sustain them. All right. So if you are trying to optimize to get to that ultimate level of productivity, great job, right? Because you need to make sure that you take care of you. A part of that also is making sure that you're taking time to connect with yourself, to remember why you are on this journey in the first place, to hear your own thoughts, to see why you're naturally resisting some of the things that you're doing, and to see what your body and your mind is actually communicating. There is so much that we can learn from just paying attention to ourselves. And it's the hardest job on the planet. I literally sat down this evening and I was rating somebody based on different percentages of a job. And then I said, if only that was as easy for me to rate myself. So then I actually became intentional about rating some of the attributes for me. And it told me a lot of things. For example, one of the things that I realized just by assessing my work attributes is the most enjoyable work experience that I've ever had within the last 5 years. Because I literally made a video talking about the fact that I have not liked any job within the 5 years. And this job was like before I left college. It was while I was in school. It was an internship on a sustainability project. And on that project, I was working by myself, right? That was the ideal description of a independent plus teamwork opportunity, because I had my weekly deliverables to complete and I was working by myself most of the weeks. I had check-in where I had to log my data, and if there was anything to correct, my supervisors would help me, would point it out, I would correct it. If it gets to the manager, the same thing. And at the end of the week, I would have a meeting with everybody on the team. We would talk about what went well, what didn't. Same thing that happened at the recruiting company, but I felt like I had way more control because I was just not bumping heads with people all week. And it was just fun for me. It was exciting. I never had to drag myself out of my bed to go to work. I always wanted to go. And they enjoyed working with me as well, because when you are your best, you're able to give your best and people enjoy you better. They renewed my contract for 3 seasons. And when I even left, when the contract was finished completely, they even referred me to another department just because of how they enjoyed working with me. And so that taught me that the way that I work now did not just start. No, it's something that I had all along, and that's the environment that I thrive in. But I had to really assess myself and sit down and have my wind down time to really be able to identify that. So these are the things that you realize about yourself when you take time to sit with yourself, when you take time to understand things about yourself. Not every quirk that you have is something that is just the worst thing in the world. It starts as information. And if it is the worst thing, you can change it, because awareness changes everything, right? So you are able to gather this information because you're paying attention to yourself. Now, I saw this thing today where I think it was Rachel Rogers, where she was talking about taking self-assessment, the cliff finders and those type of assessments that help you to identify your skills. I've been taking those assessments for a very long time. I did them in college, out of college, and it's very valuable information, but sometimes it's not really easy to translate it and understand exactly what it's saying about you, but that's a place to start. And alongside that, you kind of just pay attention to how you show up, how you interact with people, and how you just naturally feel when you're in certain environment around certain people and in certain spaces. Like I'm telling you guys, it pays you to pay attention to yourself. It pays dividends because you can literally see and learn everything about yourself just by sitting still. And you may think that you know yourself, and some people do. So I'm not talking about the people who've already had this figured out. I'm talking about the people who don't know what they're good at, who don't know what their own voice is saying to them, right? Because that's actually a real thing. I've always heard people talk when we had group projects about group think. Group think is not just about within a project. If you've literally clicked on a YouTube video and the first thing you do is head to the comment sections, that's groupthink, because whether you want to admit it or not, you're going there because you want to see if this video is worth watching. What are people saying? Should I click off? Should I stay? That's allowing somebody else to think for you. And no judgment, I do it too sometimes, but it's becoming aware of the things that you do and making sure that you're not losing your voice in the process of just trying to hear everybody else's. Okay? So, yes, get your hair done. Yes, get your nails done. Yes, get all the things to make you look good. Mess up your sheet if you want. And take some time to hear your own thoughts and understand what you're trying, what you are communicating to yourself that you've been missing, because maybe that's going to be the difference between you getting to the next level or not. Maybe you need to unclog your mind this week so that you can have the most productive week to come. All right, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I am Khrista-Lee and I talk all things investing in you. If you have been around for a while, thank you for sticking around and thank you for watching this video. Please share with anybody that this could benefit. Give me a thumbs up, comment. How do you wind down? Is this a new concept to you? Is this something that you already do? Share in the comments so other people can learn from it. And follow me on all social media platforms. That's Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Khrista-Lee. And if you haven't checked out my 30-day reset as yet, it will be in the description below. I'll see you in the next video tomorrow. Bye. Let's go make some mistakes.